program. So Darla is the one who's going to put everything together on that DVD project.
Oh my gosh.
She did that for her grandmother.
Wow. Yes, it was really wonderful. Yeah, we'll get the project and it'll be priceless.
Oh yeah, amazing, huh?
Yeah.
You know what's hard is piecing together all the little things
Uh-huh.
to make it a coherent story.
Uh-huh.
So if you experienced it, a little sentence has big meaning, but if you didn't experience
Yeah. Uh-huh. But it's for your family, so would they understand it from the...
See, this is part of the reason for doing it. I think my sisters understand it, but the nieces and nephews don't have enough experience with it. These were like phrases that remind you of your mother. One was, this was her advice, to zip your lip. When visiting, zip your lip, don't get involved. Another one was hayaku, which means hurry up. And yakamashi means you're too noisy. and this was the worst insult, to call you a kabocha, which meant that you were as dumb as a pumpkin. But I thought, well, if that's the worst thing you can call somebody, that's not so bad. Wash your hands, stand up straight. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And study hard for your dreams. So shall we start at the top here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, just
all
from
right.
that beginning.
So in 1925, my mother was born, March the 6th, 1925, and it was the same year that my grandfather bought the farm in Cortez, California. And they started the farm by buying, because there was an Alien Land Act that had been passed at the federal level, and so they couldn't buy property, and so they had to wait for Sam to become 21 so he could buy property, and everybody bought their property through him. And the person who brought all these Japanese people over in that community was named Abiko, and he was a newspaper man, and he started this cooperative farm co-op, still is going on to this day. So they bought like one truck, and my grandfather would drive all the produce down to market, and they would buy one harvester and that kind of stuff. So, it was that cooperative. It was a cooperative culture that probably made them successful as farmers. So anyway, this is a picture of the farm, and the family had to work very hard because there was no irrigation. The land was totally just dry. It was like a dust bowl.
Yeah.
And my grandfather said that the Turkish people had owned it before them, and they bought it and they put in the irrigation, which made the Central Valley what it is. But this Japanese community, so there was the co-op on this corner, and the church was on the right next to it, and that's where they kept all the cultural things alive. So in this picture, they're making the mochi rice. They're pounding the rice, and so they cook it. And this is my auntie Eiko and my mom's dad pounding the rice. And so now you do electrical. You have electrical mochi makers. You don't have a wooden mallet. And there were, let's see, Eiko, who lived in Japan, Eichi, my mom, there was Chiyoko, who died when she was 2, Kay and Max, so there were 6 children altogether.
And what number was your mother?
She was at 3.
3.
They had a farm. It was like, I guess it's not uncommon, but it was horse-drawn plows. They had chickens, sheep, all that stuff.
Right.
So they grew mostly like strawberries and vegetables, and then the farm evolved to grapes. They were in grapes, and then peaches and almonds. So one of my favorite memories is going in springtime when all the fields are just blooming and it has that beautiful light scent. it's that whole cherry blossom thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my mom was about 13. In 1939, she got sent back to Japan.
Uh-huh.
How brave she was to go by herself.
Yes.
And then Auntie Eiko came back to the U.S. And when she was there, her grandmother just had her like scrubbing the floors and airing out the kimonos, and she just didn't like it at all.
She used to, every meal we ate, she used to make me sweep the floor, all the, and I said, "But there's nothing on the floor. We did it how many times already?" And, they had these little, like a patio on the side of the building. No matter how cold it was, you had to get that rag and you wash that back up and down.
I don't remember the year that the relocation happened, but their family was relocated to Colorado, and we have the documents someplace. So the community was moved to the county fair, and they all lived in the horse stalls at the county fair until they had set up the camps, and then they were moved to this camp, Amachi camp in eastern Colorado. And so they only could take what they could carry. And, they didn't know where they were going. It was kind of an amazing thing. He worked at the policeman at the camp. He would pick up, my grandfather, yeah, he'd pick up these planks of wood, pine, that they had used in construction. And he made these incredible carvings, these bas-relief carvings of eagles and fish. And he hadn't had any training as an artist.
Wow.
And there are some pictures of it to show you here. But it was, they created things of beauty out of this desolate area. So here's a picture of Mom graduating from high school. So check out the desolate area. So she graduated from high school, and she's still in camp. And the minister had made arrangements with this college in Pella, Iowa, to send some kids up to go to college. I forget the name of it. It's called Central College. And so these are pictures of my mom at Central College, and my grandfather took her to the bus station, gave her $13, which was all he had, and put her on a bus from Colorado to Iowa all by herself. So this was another one of those journeys where, she never talks about it being scary or feeling abandoned or any of that, but she has this essential braveness to her. And she still is in touch with some of these gals that she went to college with. So was this picture taken in Cortez?
Oh no, this is in Amachi.
In Amachi, really?
We had they had grown those morning glory.
Oh, really? Why were you growing morning glory?
Mr. Hashimoto, next door neighbor.
He liked them?
He's the one that started all that. Just to be. Oh yeah,
camp.
this is a camp graduation. That's my cousin. She's Ogata. Mitsuko.
So, after graduation.
Yeah, then this is Iowa.
Yeah. So how was that to go to Pella, Iowa? You didn't even know where it was.
No, I know, but the minister, he's the one that got me started, and Joyce and I, next door, we went with only $10 in our pocket.
Yeah.
If I could ask how you were treated, was there a lot of discrimination with?
No.
No.
In fact, they wanted to know more about what we did in camp, but they didn't even hear about it, I guess. till we were there.
Wow.
I had to give little talks to the Christian church and all that. And me and I was a very poor speaker, but I guess.
Wow.
You were on the college badminton team.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. One time when we played badminton, she's really killer good.
Yeah.
And I was fat because we used to eat a lot of ice cream. Weekends, none of us had boyfriends, so our treat was just to get a quart of ice cream. And that was our treat for the weekend.
Here's a picture of you guys eating ice cream.
Yeah, I guess it is true.
It says no dates eating ice cream. That's what it says on the back.
But they were nice on holidays. They knew I can't go back to California. So they used to take me home to their home.
Yeah, you're still in touch with some of these
Oh
friends,
yeah,
aren't you?
yeah,
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
yeah.
Let me see. So then, you were there for a couple years.
Yep, 2 years.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Tell them the story of when you ran from the bathroom. Remember you used to say that your hair would freeze like
yeah,
this?
it was so cold. Of course, there's no bathroom in the barracks yet. There's a central place, so they had showers and toilets and everything else. So by the time you wash your hair, and our barrack was in the very end. So by the time you get there, you're like icicles.
Wow.
And everybody had slept in one room.
Mm-hmm.
So mom and dad, I kept wondering why they put a sheet between them. I know now why. When the rest of us, squeezed together in the little cots.
How long were you there in Colorado?
Actually, 3 years.
Wow.
And what did you do with your time? Because you would have a lot of time.
Oh, we had school,
Mm-hmm.
actually, from 9 to 3. And then for us at 16, we had to help at the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you had Japanese teachers that were interned and then they taught you, or who were the
we
teachers?
had a lot of Caucasian local people that volunteered, I guess, or I'm sure they got paid. And a lot of missionary people came and helped. So we had just regular school.
And then Auntie May, she got valedictorian.
Yeah, but she couldn't even give her a speech because it was time for evacuation.
Yeah.
But she did finally get an honor later.
Yeah, like a long time later.
Yeah. But then she and Nancy got married in camp though, in Merced.
Oh. And then they got out of camp, right?
Yeah, they went to Mission.
Colorado? Was it Denver?
Denver, and they worked as a maid, to do something. He was a butler, she was a cook.
So, after the war ended in 45, the family came back to the farm, and fortunately for their family, my uncle's friend took care of the farm. So the farm, they had lost their crops, but the farm was not ruined.
Not taken over.
Yeah, and the trees and things had been watered, and so it was, they were able to reassume it. So that was a good thing. So here's some pictures of Mom's next thing. She went to sewing school in San Jose. People came back from camp, and they had to set up makeshift dwellings for the families that didn't have a place to live. It's kind of interesting when people take pictures of stuff because it doesn't always, it's not always the happy face.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my grandfather at church, and the church was kind of the community center
Mm-hmm.
besides the work thing. And Mr. Hashimoto, who was a good friend of his.
Yes, we were lucky to go to his place, to visit.
Where did he live?
In San Francisco?
Oh, Mr. Hashimoto lives in San Francisco.
Yeah, the whole family did.
Oh.
So, yeah, back and forth once in a while. It's his daughter that taught me how to crochet and stuff.
Really? Oh, well, that was a forever gift, wasn't it?
Oh, I should say.
Yeah, you're still doing that. Okay, here's a
Yeah, that's good.
current project.
Yeah.
Baby blanket. We have
A little higher, yeah.
a new baby coming. Show it like
Yeah.
this. Maybe show your
We're
work.
getting
Mom.
Yeah.
Two new babies.
Who else is having a baby?
Who are the babies?
Karen's son and
Kevin? Oh, yeah.
Evie.
And Evie, right. 2 boys. Auntie Kay said that Kevin is having a boy, too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so Mom was very active in this church, and Dad became active. Even though he was Buddhist,
Mm-hmm.
at the end he figured that the Christians were nicer. This was a cute picture. Do you know when that was taken?
Oh, yeah. That was at church.
Uh-huh. With a big old bow in your hair. All right. So tell me about Montebello Church. You started there, what, in 1950-ish?
50, when I first got married.
Yeah.
We were Fukushima married, yes.
Uh-huh. But Dad didn't go with you to church.
No, not till later.
Yeah. So, but everybody was kind of like about the same age.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of nice. Everybody was about the same age,
Yeah,
all coming to
yeah.
that area. And that was Reverend
Fukushima.
Fukushima.
He was amazing.
Huh. And how did he find all the Japanese people to organize them for this
Well, I
church?
guess everybody heard about him and how, what a good minister he was and everything else.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, he was a really sweet man.
Yeah, remember how you guys had had studies about Japan? So I took you to his house, and
Uh-huh.
before you know it, he'd take out a $10 bill from his Bible, give it to you,
Mm-hmm.
and so, oh, let's go over there. We're here, give us money.
I don't remember the money so much. I remember he always had applets and cotlets, that candy.
Yeah, anything. Mrs. Fukushima was very generous too.
Yeah, right. They were really nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Grandpa was converted from Buddhism to Christianity.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe in his first year in the United States, huh?
Oh yeah. He saved it. Hagujin family.
I remember he told me that the Methodist church was really supportive of the Japanese people.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. In fact, all those Quaker churches, they were very supportive. They would bring things even in camp.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Miss Greeno, our second grade teacher,
Mm-hmm.
her father had cows,
Mm-hmm.
and so he would donate the cows to the camp.
Really?
For food. Yeah, that was Merced. Though.
When you were in Merced, really? Wow, that was kind of him. I guess those kind of stories you don't hear about so much, huh?
No, you don't hear the good things.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So this quilt right here, this that's on the sofa,
Uh-huh.
this is something my grandmother made, and it took her 3 years to finish it. It's called the pineapple pattern, and so this is something that's, I don't know, there's a word for it, and the Mom will have to tell you.
Shitaka. Good.
You got it.
Say it again. Shika.
Shikata.
Shikataganai. Okay.
仕方がない。
Can you spell that?
仕方が
Kata
ない。
Kataganai. And what does it mean?
You just cannot, we can't do anything more about it.
Mm-hmm. We can't do anything more about it. So how did that play out during camp? They had that done.
Oh, I had during the camp, no matter if you want to go buy something, you can go out and buy because they won't let you out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 仕方がない. Or any kind of food that you want.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you know they had that art show in Washington D.C. of all the things that Japanese people made, like quilting and
Oh,
carvings and that kind of stuff. That art where you make little landscapes, and they talked about shikata ganai.
we just had to do with what we had.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
A woman thinking 仕方がない. What else is there?
And it's like something that's tough, then what do? What attitude do you take towards it?
頑張って.
What's that?
頑張って means you just fight for it.
You fight for it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never heard that. What else is it then? What attitude should you take?
Take what comes.
Make the best
God,
of it?
like the Bible said, God will provide.
Uh-huh. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry.
Put your faith.
Yeah, he takes care of the birds and the bees. He'll take care of you.
Well, it sounds like that worked for you, Mom. I mean, oftentimes, yeah, I'm sure that there are a lot of challenging times that you had to just go on faith, huh?
Oh, sure. Like going from camp to Iowa to begin with, and with $10 in your pocket. Oh,
Just going off to college is a big deal, but you have no support.
no.
Yeah. Well, I think you must have had always a strong sense of yourself, because like some people would have fallen apart with that experience.
I guess, yeah. Be afraid.
Be afraid, yeah.
Yeah. To think that, yeah, there's a Jap,
I know.
after all.
After all, your whole family had been moved just because you were Japanese.
Because, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Since like all the grandkids don't know your mom and dad because they had passed away before they were born, how would you want your parents to be remembered? What things about your parents would you want them to know about?
But Dad was a good hard worker, and he did all the driving and produce from Cortez to San Francisco and LA.
Mm-hmm.
He was a go-getter, I guess. And Mom was always a hard-working gal.
I know, she was always busy. Like,
Yeah,
this quilt, the pillows, she made futons.
yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Darla how your mom made this.
Oh yeah, don't you
The
love
quilt,
that?
Yes. The
And
white
the
quilt.
pillow behind you.
Uh-huh. Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing she made all these things.
Mm-hmm.
I could never copy
Did do a
it.
lot of. She made some beautiful
I
Japanese.
know. It's just
croutons.
being a farmer's daughter,
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
She had those birds in that back porch. Remember? I forget what kind of birds it were. She would dry persimmons back there. All right. So, how did he come to America?
He came, he's only 16-year-old.
Uh huh. And And in 1906?
Yeah, when the San Francisco fire,
Yes, earthquake, yep.
earthquake, yeah. So he had to stay in a home, American home, because he had to learn English.
Yeah, that's when he became a Methodist, right?
Yeah, because of the other minister.
Yeah. He was a very devout prayer. We would be at these dinners. He'd be praying. Everybody's like looking at each other. He's still thanking God for everything.
Well, just think it's that you're only 16-year-old coming away across country all by himself, not knowing the language.
Right. And then he pulls into San Francisco Harbor and the whole place is in smoke.
Yeah,
Mm.
you know, and then of course he had to work hard. You know, got his two sisters, his own parents came afterwards.
They
so,
came and they lived in America? Oh, really?
Yeah,
Though everybody came.
yeah. And then when the kids got bigger, when they were 5 or 6 year old, he took the first child of each family, took him, grandma and grandpa took him to Japan, because they wanted them to learn more about Japan.
Yeah. So why did they pick this area of the Central Valley to buy?
Mr. Abe, remember?
Uh-huh.
He's the one that influenced that. He says, it's like a desert, but you could, cultivate it.
If you irrigate it.
Irrigate it and everything else. And I did. And that's how it grew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got the co-op going and everything, the fibers.
Right, and the co-op, and then the church was right there too.
Of course, the church.
What kind of Japanese traditions did you guys keep going in America? Did you have obon, all that?
Oh, they had no bomb, but they had the Buddhists. Half of the community was Buddhist, so they did the oboness. They did. The minister from Sato would come once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And what is Obon? What is Obon?
Oh, it's like a memorial service for the dead. They used to do all these dances, street dancing.
Yeah, and they have the big taiko drumming, and it's I guess to honor the dead, right?
Every year is that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually in the summer.
Yeah, and that's where my youngest one is. In Kauai, she's one of the best drummers, and
She's a taiko drummer.
Yeah.
So this mochi is something. Did you make it at New Year's? When would you make mochi?
Yeah, you do the last day of the year,
Last day of the year. Oh, okay.
so you have it for January 1st.
Mm-hmm. So I found these pictures of when you guys were little,
Oh.
and
Monica wanted a picture of me when I was little.
uh-huh.
I said, oh, I have to go through all those boxes.
I was wondering if you could tell us about Uncle H's baseball league. You know, that Japanese baseball league?
Oh, yeah. Just a,
What was that about, the baseball league? Did they play only within the Japanese community, or they played other people too?
well, they used to play levies in the Stockton and other little communities.
Mm-hmm.
But they used to call them the Cortez Wildcats.
So remember you told me about his pants? About Uncle H's pants that he used to like to draw lines on?
Oh, yeah, those corduroy pants, that was in style. He said, don't you dare wash them, you know. And if they were new, you'd get the pencil and make a smear with all the black. But the white shirt had to be white with long sleeve, and I had to iron those white shirts. Oh, that was a misery. I ironed how many of H's white shirts? I used to hate that.
Yeah, because they weren't like permanent press. They were hard to
God,
iron.
you had to dampen it just so, you know.
Yeah. That's right. Oh, tell them how you had to walk 5 miles to school.
It was 3 miles. And it was dirt road. It was not paved. So every day we go 3 miles to school and 3 miles back. Only time they would pick us up is if it ever rained. And then my poor mother, she had to stay. She wasn't much of a driver either, but she had to stay on that one track with the cars. She was afraid, to get off. She might get stuck. And so Grandpa said, "No, you just stay where you are. Let other people move."
Okay, so now we're shifting gears to the Inaba family. This is my dad's family.
Okay.
So, anyway, this was from another project that I've done, where I have this kind of like outlined about what their names were, because when Colin, my son, left Vietnam, he and his girlfriend, they went to Japan and they were going to look up the Inaba family. Well, they were in a bed and breakfast in Hiroshima and they couldn't find him. And so the woman at the bed and breakfast took off a day of work and they went to the Hall of Records and spent the whole day. They don't have a computerized, just going through all these books, looking for where they were. And then they found somebody who was the captain of the neighborhood. And he went around and he made the connection that there was a friend of theirs who was on vacation, but he would contact her when she got back from vacation. And so that woman contacted Colin and Deborah. Oh, and the Inaba, they were called Ozawas, that's their last name. And they came and picked up Colin and Deborah and then took them around for like several days. And then when Colin was there at their house, they had this picture, a family picture that my mom and dad had in their bedroom, the very same picture, because they had gone they had gone to visit them, and they both had the very same picture. So the Inabas, they were from Tacoma. They had a store, a grocery store. So the people in Oregon and Washington had the option to not go to the camps as long as they moved inland. So my father's family moved to Middleton, Idaho, and their relatives had an onion farm. So they came here. My uncle went to College of Idaho, played basketball for them. They called him Nobby. They moved from Idaho, they went to Salt Lake, and they had a hotel, which is now on the grounds of the Salt Palace in Salt Lake. And then they moved to LA. But in Salt Lake, my dad's dad, Gotaro, died of food poisoning.
Oh, wow.
Everybody else is in Western clothes. And she never came back to the United States. She left and she spent the war there. She got married there. So we found this picture and when we cleaned up my mom's house. And so I had it restored. And this auntie just passed away last year. And my Uncle Ken is still alive. And so what things about Dad would you want to be remembered?
To be just an honest worker.
He was kind. I think in his head he had this kind of like a vision of beauty, like he loved to go look at the ocean.
Oh yeah, I have to remember it.
Yeah.
Anytime I suddenly had off, that's where he went to see the water.
Yeah, he liked to go look at the freighters going in and out. Yeah. Baseball had been a strong cultural interest for the Japanese community.
I guess he was a good baseball player in his younger days.
He always liked sports.
Yeah. He used to hit home runs.
That's right, I remember him saying that. Yeah, he was probably pretty strong.
Yeah, but he was big compared to most guys.
It was nice that he was able to have that time with Mr. Saito.
Oh yeah, he used to get free tickets.
Go to the Dodgers.
Yeah. So he did the driving.
Box seats.
Mm-hmm. No matter, he always expected us to have hot dogs and popcorn and stuff like that.
Mr. Saito?
You know,
Yeah, that's all part of it, huh?
yeah.
Actually, Dad, remember we buried him with his hat? He had that old Dodgers hat,
Oh,
that blue Dodgers hat.
yeah, I love the Dodgers.
Yeah, and he was actually pretty artistic. He used to like to draw.
Yeah, remember he did some drawing that we were surprised?
Yeah, it was like an ocean drawing or something, like a ship. Yeah, yeah, it was good when he found his walking group and his social kind of breakfast group.
He loved his Denny's coffee.
Uh-huh. And he was a loyal customer to Denny's.
Yeah,
Denny's and McDonald's.
McDonald's.
And how would you like to be remembered? For like Vivi, how would you like people to remember you?
Well, I know I was never specialized in anything, so just a common old housewife, I guess.
You were a generalist. You were good at everything.
No, not really.
Remember that time you made that blue cake? It was for something, I don't know, it was like somebody's birthday or a holiday. Because you used to experiment with recipes, and you one time made a blue cake. You put blue dye in the cake,
Oh, yeah.
and it was blue like that box,
Hmm.
and nobody would eat it because it was the wrong color.
No kidding. I don't remember that.
And then one time you made oyster stuffing, and it was like, it was so different.
I bet it smells fishy, huh?
So this is my mom and dad's 25th anniversary. And oh, here's that picture I was telling you. This is the carving that my grandfather had done. It's of an eagle feeding its little eaglets in the, or whatever you call them, in the tree. And they did a lot of traveling, so this is just one of it. They have albums of traveling. Here's Dad and Uncle Ken Onishi. And this is my Uncle Ken Inaba. And both of these Uncle Kens had the greatest sense of humor. They introduced laughter into the family. Everybody else was so dead serious.
Nice.
Music. It might have been his 80th birthday. This is her 80th birthday, and so I included this one because these are her friends Sarah, Mrs. Uesugi, this is Eleanor Sakato, Mrs. Yotsuya, Amy Kobayashi, June, and my mom. Because these are all ladies that have been together since that church was formed. So they had been friends for over 40 years. The family reunion in 2006 in Reno. There's some of my mom's cousins, but also all the kids and the kids' kids. Okay, so you see the story in the short segments, and you see like singular events, but when you're collecting all these pictures, you get an appreciation for the resilience of the generation, and for my mother, having to deal with a lot of unknowns, and she has met it with great grace and resilience. It wasn't all of it roses. My father suffered. She was the one who had to keep bread on the table, keep the house, all those things. But the U.S. knew that Japan was going to enter the war.
Because I got a letter from the U.S. government that, Says, you should go back to the United States because there is a sign of war.
And that was before December 7th then.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can't tell me that it was a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So then, of course, they had to send Dad had to send the fare and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I still had these big old welts.
Yeah.
When I got on the ship, the doctor says, you may not get off, you have all these welts. I said, I'm going to get off. I had to swim. But I didn't know how to swim. But then every day as we got closer to U.S., it would dry up. It was amazing.
Maybe
So
it was
when we
just,
got to San Francisco, oh well.
you willed it that way.
Yeah. And then on New Year's Day, so H got mad at me. He says, why'd you get back on New Year's Day? I said, hey, I'm glad I'm here.
Like you could control that.
Yeah, I know.
How long did it take to go from Japan to the U.S.?
14 days.
Oh, 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a long time on a boat.
Oh yeah, and then they're third class, so we're in
The bowels of the
bottom
boat,
and,
yeah. So you guys came back. Were you with your family when you came back to the farm?
Yeah, we had to.
So everybody came back to the farm, and so what was that like when you guys went back to the house?
Well, we were lucky because this friend of H's took care of everything, the farm and the house and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we had one bedroom where I kept my Shirley Temple doll and my Japanese doll and all the other private things.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's still there.
So tell Darla why the dolls are so important to you.
Yeah, that's why I still love my dolls.
Because during the Depression,
Yeah.
they never
Oh,
got
the-
dolls.
And then when my sister died, I only had one doll. She didn't have a doll because she's only 2. It was so poor that they couldn't buy it. So when they put my doll in her coffin, and that was so sad.
You lose
Yes.
your doll and your sister.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be very sad.
Yeah, it was so sad.
Let me move my glasses up. You too. Move your glasses up a little bit. You always look like you're looking over your glasses.
Perfect. Okay. So you guys, this is a question I ask Mom. How would you think you'd like to have Grandma and Grandpa remembered? Like what were the things about them that were like enduring characteristics?
My parents?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they were very hardworking.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what Mom said.
They were.
That's true.
Especially Mom, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Dad too, for not college education. He knew exactly how to prune and do this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how, they acquired that property and maintained it and built it,
Yeah. Yeah. They
That's
came with
70
nothing.
acres. Yeah.
70 acres and a horse.
I don't remember the horse.
Oh, yeah, I remember the horse.
Oh,
His workers that cuss at him all the time.
well, that's how they
That's,
used to plow the.
Yeah, that's how
line.
Mac always knew how to cuss. He got the teacher was washing his mouth.
That's right. They would send him home. He would wash his mouth out with soap.
So that's not my brother.
And Dad would hear about it, and then he would get punished after he came home. They would put him in the cellar.
Oh, yeah.
They would put him in the
Oh
cellar,
my
and
gosh.
so he would be downstairs.
Crying.
More sand, more sand. Meaning, I won't do it anymore.
I guess it didn't work too well, huh?
But even if he wet his pants, I guess they should put him in the cellar.
Really?
Yeah. Again?
No wonder he was such a chicken.
Uncle Mac was so afraid to go out nighttime to go shishies, he would wake me up. He says, "Come with me," because he wanted to go shishi. I said, "Okay."
He was like the big brave, or that's not how he seemed like that as an adult. He
As
was
an
like
adult,
fearless.
he was, yeah. My kids used to go, spend maybe a couple of weeks with Uncle Mac's family,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, oh, when he got up in the morning and said, okay, everybody get up. Everybody just jumped up. His loud, booming voice.
I know, it was like nobody, I mean, the whole experience of like having somebody order you to do something and everybody follows, it was just like, oh my gosh, I never saw that before.
General and sergeant.
Yeah. But he was too bad. He died when he was like 49.
I know, that was really young.
Very young, yeah.
Yeah, he was a big guy. I mean, it's almost amazing that his body could support that much bulk.
Wow, that's why when he was standing on the table and then the table collapsed or something and he fell, that's when he fractured his ankle. Then he didn't move at all. Then he got fatter and fatter because he wasn't moving. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, Grandpa looked in that picture like the big, like the kind of adventuresome type. He was kind of, he looked like he had the swagger.
He
Well,
looked good in that picture.
What they said when he came from Japan, evidently he was really good at shooting pool. So he used to go to San Jose and shoot pool and make money. And then when his parents found that out, they put a stop to it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's how he supplemented his income.
Right. Oh wow.
Okay. All right. Well, that was actually very cute.
I remember that house seemed old when we were little, but it had flushing toilets and electricity, but it had really old style electricity.